Hello. We're looking to build a form function diagram of the phrase "an almost unbelievably ingenious contraption," which comes from Paul Hopper's book, using software developed by Chris Eisenhart at the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth. We begin by looking at the largest span of constituents, which will include the whole phrase. So we will simply mark all of the words of this phrase, create a node for it. We'll call this node NP for its form, and its function will be just a subject. We'll assume that this is a subject of a sentence with a predicate missing. Next, we need to look internally within the phrase to see the largest span of constituents, and that means a node that immediately dominates any word or a combination of words. Here, and seems to stand alone as a determiner of the sentence, so we're going to give it its own node. According to the Hopper book, we'll call the form an article and the function a determiner, because it functions to determine the noun. We'll look at now we look at the additional span of these words, and we'll see that almost unbelievably ingenious seems to be one constituent, which is an adjective of contraption. So it's going to be an adjective phrase. We are going to then label it as an adjective phrase as a form, and the function is going to be it modifies contraption. You'll notice sometimes I want to fill in the function as soon as I create a form. That makes great sense. Sometimes you may want to create your forms and then create your functions later. It's really up to you. You'll develop your own style for how you use the form function diagram tool. Almost unbelievably ingenious can further be broken down. Almost unbelievably are two adverbs that make an adverb phrase. So we're going to include them as an adverb phrase, and both of these constituents are adverbs, so we're going to give them their own branch, adverb and adverb. And notice that unbelievably seems to be the head of this adverb phrase. And if we want to do our functions now, we might say unbelievably modifies ingenious. Oops, got to get the spelling right. And almost modifies unbelievably. Okay. Now we come to ingenious, and that is clearly an adjective, and that is clearly the head of the adjective phrase. So we will assign it the form of adjective, and its function is to modify contraption. And that makes sense, since it's the head of the adjective phrase, that it ought to really be the main modifier of the noun. Here we have the noun, which is the head of the noun phrase, contraption. So its form is a noun, and its function is a subject. It's the head of the entire phrase. The phrase is a subject, and contraption is the head of that phrase. So according to Hopper's book, the head of a phrasal unit and the whole phrasal unit will share the functions. So now we just have one more function to fill in, and that is almost unbelievably, and that together modifies contraption. So I think it's interesting that almost does not modify ingenious, but almost unbelievably as an adverb phrase does modify ingenious. So you have to distinguish between words as modifiers and as they participate in larger constituents. So this is all fun. We go back and see, are all the forms filled in? Yes. And does every form have a corresponding function? It seems to. Have we spelled everything correctly? It would seem to be the case. So I believe we are done.